First of all, we just want to thank everybody for all the support they've been given this entire time in fighting these charges. Today we went to court with the Pennington County Prosecutor's Office about prosecutorial misconduct of their office, free speech violation, right to a speedy trial, what are all things afforded to supposed to be all citizens, equal protections under the law, including natives. They're trying to figure out if we're going to be treated fairly here. And so our judge, our lawyers, my lawyer, Brendan Johnson, who's a former U.S. attorney for the state of South Dakota, submitted a pretty detailed brief that's public. Anybody can read it. Has everything from the prosecutor's office sending an open a letter to law enforcement that are in fact people that we call witnesses in my case, which is against the law as well. And so we got to hear arguments before the judge, and really now it's up to Judge Feifley to decide if he believes that there's merit in these charges. And our hope is that if there's merit in any one of them, then my charges would be dismissed. And so they took it under advisement, which just means that the judge will take some time to read through all of the brief, including review all of the testimony that was given in court today, and then make a final decision. And I would say that the one thing that felt good from this situation is that we got an opportunity to put Mark Vargo, the Pennington County Prosecutor's Office, on the stand, and he had to answer to a whole bunch of questions about his conduct and his mistreatment of me in this, and constantly tried to call me a liar in the process, when in fact we pulled up an AP article that proved that I was never in fact lying at all. And he was trying to use that as a reason to violate my free speech rights. We also got to hear from the diversion staff, who I actually met with, and they had nothing but good things to say about that. The diversion meeting we originally had was actually really positive and really good, and it was only after the prosecutor heard my comments to the media, in which he decided to arbitrarily add a whole bunch of new conditions, try to, basically, try to do a public shaming of me for the actions that we took on July 3rd of last year. And I think that everything about what happened today only compounds and shows that the charges, all of them, all the charges that were brought forth were politically and racially motivated to begin with. And so here we are, still a year and a half later, we haven't actually went to real court on my charges. And it's a continued delay tactic from the judge itself. The judge acknowledged that the Pennington County Prosecutor's Office and Pennington County judicial system is actually a recipient of a MacArthur Foundation grant for the purpose of trying to reduce the over-incarceration rates of Native American people. And he's the co-chair of that. And yet we're sitting here and I'm being overly prosecuted, facing 17 years in prison. And so the dichotomy of that entire situation shows very much the injustice that's happening here. So I really think that regardless of what the judge decides, a magnifying glass was put on the system today, and white supremacy was put on trial today, and racism was put on trial today. And I think the one thing that we can say is that when they try to come after us, we as Native people, myself, the grassroots people here in the Haisapa, NDN Collective, all of us are willing to stand up and speak truth to power. And that's what happened today. We were on the offense, and they had to answer to us, and they had to answer questions to our communities and to our people. And I think that it was very embarrassing, quite frankly, for the prosecutor's office to show their conduct and their behavior, and to show how they can use their positions of power to have a huge amount of discretion to make decisions over the lives of our people. And that's the very system that we're trying to dismantle, because we think that it's injustice. And today, my heart and mind, when I was in the courtroom, a lot of it was really, I was in kind of a lot of prayer, to be quite honest, thinking about all of the Native people in the justice system that don't have the same opportunity, that maybe didn't have lawyers, they didn't have people to stand up for them, people to fight for them. And so, that was what was in my heart and mind today. And, it's only further fuel to keep fighting this very system that impacts our lives as a people. And so we'll see what happens. I'm in this fight for the long haul. This is the fight for the Black Hills. This is the fight for our land. This is the fight for justice for our people. And so I'm not going to let some court deter me from that, and the things that I'm fighting for, because the future depends on it. And so we got no choice but to keep standing up and rising up. And so, that's kind of a snapshot of what happened, today in the courtroom. Several people were called to the stand. And I think that my lawyers, Brendan Johnson, Tim Billion, made some really, really important arguments, legal arguments on my behalf, and on the behalf of our people and the behalf of our movement.